Brian, continuing with ChaosiumCon Day 3, Saturday. Started off my adventures with a seminar by Nick Brooks on his Gloranthan Manifesto. Way back in the early days of the internet when we had server lists and you would type things and post and cross post and that kind of stuff. He gathered up a lot of his thoughts, ideas, and things, and has compiled them all together in this handy tome. So I'm interested in going through that at some point in the future. Then I went to another seminar with Jeff. This one also had Jason Doral. Is that how you say his name? Yeah, Doral, talking about the cult books, right? So the first one is the Prosopedia, which they had a couple handfuls, maybe a case there at ChaosiumCon. So I got one, and there are three others: the Lightbringers cult, the Earth Mother, and for the life of me, I can't remember what that third one is. But they all have gone to the printers. He had some test books there. The PDFs aren't out yet, so I'm not sure how far along things are. Or maybe they won't come out with PDFs until they're all available. No, they always did the PDFs before the hardback was available, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But fingers crossed they'll have some at Gen Con. But of course, they're not going to announce it and make it available for purchase until it's in all three warehouses. Just something else to remember. And shipping is what it is. Okay. I was supposed to do 3 damsels from 2 to 6. But after I had registered all of the games I was willing to do, the special event stuff came out, and the auction was from 3 to 5. So I wanted to go to the auction. So I emailed all the players, saying, hey guys, I'm sorry. I need to move this to 7. If you can stick with it, please do. If not, I'm sorry. How would that affect your game? And I had 2 people actually email back, one saying, yeah, I can adjust, no problem. The other one said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to, but I understand. So go for what you need to do. So my game got pushed back into the evening. Oh, another seminar I went to was called Better Narrating by the Up Your RPG. Like upping your game. But when I first thought it was Up Yours RPG. But they're a podcast group. In fact, they do 2 different podcasts, and it was a decent little seminar because they asked us for, hey, give us your information and give us a couple questions. What's your greatest hurdle as a GM? What's your greatest hurdle as a player, kind of thing. And they gathered those up, and we discussed those after they did a little icebreaker kind of thing, which was a really cool kind of game. I liked it, but it wasn't really about bettering your narration of your game. It was more about well, it became people's questions on my concerns. Am I good enough? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? And that kind of stuff. Which I'm old enough now that I don't care. I do care, but it doesn't bother me. If you don't like my game, I'm sorry. I will do my best to do my best, but that's the way I am. And then the auction, 3 to 5. So I went to the auction specifically to get one thing: the Worlds of Wonder box set. I had purchased one back in the early 80s, and this whole concept of merging Magic World with Future World with Super World, all that kind of stuff, it floated my boat. I really like that whole concept. Plus, very simple systems, that kind of stuff. It's all based off of the original BRP. So I went to get this, but this didn't show up until towards the end. of the seminar, but I want to show you something real quick. The one piece in this thing that I would kill for, and in fact, I think I may actually still have this one handout, right? Somewhere in my file somewhere, is this weapon armor equivalencies. That's hard to see. Sorry, guys. Where they compare and contrast the weapons of the different worlds with the armor of the different worlds, right? So if you're using a blaster from Future World, blaster armor obviously absorbs for that. Blaster screens absorb for that. Magic World armor absorbs for that, but so does counter magic. And taking that concept, and I applied it to a Future World kind of game, that scenario that I had set up a while back for my son and some other folks. That was a mixture of the Fantasy Trip and Runequest. And one of the NPCs had blaster or something, rifle, pistol, something. And they're coming up against ghouls, and ghouls are only hurt by magical weapons. Well, counter magic works against blasters, so blasters count as magic weapons. That's the only thing that saved them from that scenario. But this whole concept of these cross-reference things, lightning. What protects you from the lightning spell? Well, counter magic does, right? So do blaster screens and laser armor. That kind of stuff. It was cool. I really, really, really love that. And that was the one big piece that I wanted out of that. But I want the whole box set again because I found some hijacked PDFs online, but they always seem to be short pages. I have no idea what's up with that. But now I've got the whole thing. Happy me. So, but while we're going through all of this stuff, they would go back and forth between Call of Cthulhu stuff and other things, right? And this came out. The Runequest Avalon Hill Players Box. The GM box came out as well, but that went for a decent price. But I could not let this go for just $20. So I got it for $25 in the shrink wrap. Brand new box. So it's going up on a shelf somewhere. Maybe my kids will get some money out of it after I die. I don't know. What else did I get? Some things I was kind of interested in. I voted. I bid on a number of things. They have an interesting way of, not interesting, it was a cool way of doing it. They start off with, okay, $5 or $10. A couple of them started off at 20 and just a couple at 50 because they knew they were actually, real protective, collective items, right? So they start at $5. You put your card up, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, until they get to finally only one card's left up, and that's the price. So there were a lot of things, I would get up to, I'd pay $50 for that, but there was one guy up front who had his laptop out with like spreadsheets and whatever else he was checking on. So he was an actual collector who knew what stuff was worth because he did his research beforehand, and he just let the card everybody's talking until they finally get to one final number. So he got a couple things for $300-400. A couple things did actually go for $5. There were also a couple of I think they're both Chaosium. Jeremy I knew. He is a Chaosium guy. And so he knew there were certain things that he wanted to get, was willing to pay for them. And so a couple things, up to $200-300 kind of thing. And then there's this other guy who knew the quality of stuff. So because there's a couple people asking, what kind of quality is this? And Rick told everybody, hey, everything here is, excellent to mint condition because they've all been, in the warehouse kind of thing. But there was one particular item that fell off to my right, was really interested. He asked about that kind of thing. So that guy took it and looked at it, and he gave that kind of description that collectors are looking for when it comes to rating the quality of the product. Well, there's some things coming along. For example, Pendragon, Lordly Domains, something I'm kind of interested in. So yeah, I bid on that one. Got it. The Boy King, again, something else I was interested in, possibly using. More Pendragon stuff. And the Runequest Companion. And this one I was going to go, yeah, I kind of need to get this one. So I think I paid $50 for this one. But then they came up with Pendragon 4th Edition. I got a story with this one. So, in the late 90s, I think it was, that's when, does it have a date on it? It was early 90s, 93. For, came back, 2000? It had to be 2000, just the summer before 9/11. Had to be. I picked up a copy of this when we were in California visiting some friends before we went overseas to Okinawa. And so, I bought it, and, we're there in California. The Chaosium had an address, Berkeley, California. So we went to Berkeley, California, and we're in the neighborhood, and there's a house. I go, is this right, guys? What do you think? I'll go find out. So I go up there and knock on the door, and they open it up, and sure enough, inside the house was the store or the headquarters or whatever it was for Chaosium, and Greg was there. And he, signed it for me, crit on timing, Brian, that kind of thing. And one of the worst mistakes I made in my entire life is I put it into a box to get shipped to overseas instead of just taking it with me in a suitcase or something. And that box ended up getting broken open, and somebody else's box got broken open, and my Pendragon ended up in their box, and some of their credit ended up in my box. I was so upset. So when they showed this up, okay, I've got to get it. If for nothing more than sentimental reasons, right? So yeah, I paid $100 for it, which means that the guy in front, he dropped it not too far after that, or yeah, probably just before $100 he would have dropped his card. So it's probably worth close to something like that. Sorry, my hair's a mess. Where are we at time? 12. The auction, and then 3 damsels. Okay, 3 damsels. I love this scenario. It's a lot of fun. There's some issues with it though, because there are 2 cousins who are going to Arthur's Christmas court to deliver a message, and there are 2 knights that are escorting them, and then there are 2 other brothers who are going to Arthur's court to deliver a message as well. And on the way to Camelot, they're stopped by Dame Adventure. Well, we've got a mission to do, guys. We've got to go to Camelot. Go on that adventure. I've had a couple of players whose characters were reckless, and so I'm going for adventure. And so you can't let him go by himself, and this everybody else follows along. And I've kind of morphed. A couple of them were, no, we're going to Camelot. Get back on your horse. We're going to Camelot. We got a mission to complete. And so, okay, on the way back from Camelot, Dame Adventure's still there. Are you ready now? That kind of thing. But it was pretty good. We had everybody had played Pendragon before. Some of them have been a while. Like they don't play during cons, so they don't play once a year kind of thing. But Ludo was there. He was in my game, and so was this other fellow who knew the rules, backwards and forwards kind of thing too. So it was during this scenario that I didn't come to realization, but it hit me. Hey, if one of the players is helping everybody else with the rules, just let them do it. So yeah, your squire can drag you off the battlefield and do first aid on you. It's not automatic though, they still need to roll, but he was doing this automatic thing. Just, you got 2 wounds, roll 2d3, that kind of thing. So, well, okay. And it was kind of vicious. The first encounter is a joust, and one of the players got killed outright. 1, 2, 3 got knocked unconscious. Did 2 of them die outright? But it came down. Oh, and they were failing their inspiration rolls, right? They're using a passion to inspire themselves to fight this knight, this evil knight, right? And then failing or crit failing, that kind of thing. Holy cow! -5, -10. Well, that changes with RQ6 or not RQ with Pendragon 6th edition, which is nice because that is quite severe. And so he just took him to town, but eventually Dame Conwindor took him down. So they everybody does first aid, and they drag one of the damsels from the fountain, which is damsels of the fountain, right? Leads them all back to the fountain, magic fountain, right? So we do a resurrection on the dead, get raised. We raise dead on the one poor guy. So he's back, but there were healing wounds, and plus they have magical healing. We stay there for a week and get a healing roll and that kind of stuff. So everybody's back to a decent level before they go on. And somewhere along the way, Ludo's character ended up getting killed because we replaced his character. Don't remember where that happened now I think about it. And in the end, Ludo's character ended up getting killed by the big bad guy. But the rest was a success. The game went great. Everybody had a lot of fun. It went well, and it was just amazing how badly these guys were rolling and how well my 6s were rolling. I would, half the dices were 5s and 6s sometimes with some of these damages. And when you get a crit, that's twice the damage. It was just nasty, nasty, nasty. Oh, but that was Saturday. Happy gaming.